Hey guys, how's it going? Super B 1996 here, and today I've got a video talking about Final Fantasy XIV or Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn, whatever you fancy calling it. Now this is a game I have not really talked about on my channel at all, and because I do Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy content, etc., I thought I should actually talk about it a bit and just express my overall opinions on Final Fantasy XIV. Now, for those who do not know, Final Fantasy XIV was kind of a train wreck back in the day. What I mean by train wreck is that when the original came out, it really didn't impress. It didn't impress consumers at all. It was a bit of a flop, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. I never played the original Final Fantasy XIV, but just looking at it, ugh. And I'm not really a fan of MMOs anyway, to be fair. So when A Realm Reborn came out, I did actually pick it up for the PlayStation 4. Didn't buy it for the PlayStation 3, but I did get it for the PS4. Overall, when I first played it, I enjoyed it. I mean, Final Fantasy XIV feels like the most Final Fantasy feeling game since like Final Fantasy 9, in my opinion. It feels Final Fantasy. It feels like the way Final Fantasy should feel. It feels like a modern day classic Final Fantasy game. That's what I really liked about it. The graphics in Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn, they look fresh. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, if you go on PS4, it looks beautiful. Now the gameplay, I always felt the gameplay was alright, but it got really old and really boring quite fast. That's the only problem I faced with it. To be completely honest, I don't really play Final Fantasy XIV anymore, just because I did get bored of it, and yeah, I just felt that the interfaces and stuff were quite confusing, and on the PS4 it was confusing. Sometimes I didn't know where I was going. This is the main issue I've got with Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn, is that it's not very beginner friendly. To be honest, it's good though, but it just got really boring really fast. That's the only problem I've got with the game. The story is excellent, exceptional, don't get me wrong. And do you know what? If it didn't have that stupid subscription thing, I would play it I'd play it a hell of a lot more. It's the subscription thing that is keeping me from playing it. They really need to do like an Elder Scrolls Online with this, and you know, kind of fix it. I gotta say, I love the way how they dealt with like how they ended the original Final Fantasy XIV with the whole CGI cinematic thing of the world ending. I thought that was absolutely incredible, and I have to give up for Square Enix, because that is one way to end your game. Like seriously, that was top notch. Overall, it is a good game. It's got a lot of potential. Heavensward came out not too long ago. I think that's how you say the name. I don't even try anymore. Heavensward looks really, really, really nice. Maybe one day if I get back into 14, I might purchase it. Like because you have to finish the story once you like to access Heavensward. But it's good. Final Fantasy XIV is pretty decent. Overall, my opinion on it is there are a few things that could be better, like navigation around the world and a few gameplay problems here and there. The fact that the gameplay does go a bit stale, there's not much variety in the missions, I felt, because I know it's supposed to be going around killing loads of monsters, etc, etc, but it does get old. Maybe that's just my taste in gaming. Maybe I just don't like that type of stuff. Maybe some people do. That's fair enough. That's up to you. The character customization was really nice though. The character customization was spot on. Overall, it is really good. Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn is quality. It is a really good MMO in its own right. Not just because it's a Final Fantasy game, because it's got such a high pedigree, but no, it is pretty decent. So if you've got PS4 and you've got money to spare for a subscription and you're a Final Fantasy fan, yeah, I'd go for it. I mean, I would. I mean, at the moment, I haven't got the money to be forking out for a game that I probably won't play as much at the moment. But it is pretty good. If you're a hardcore Final Fantasy fan, I wouldn't miss this for anything. So that's it for now, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, favourite, all that good stuff, and I shall speak to you all later on.